win up to £25,000. The Community Lottery, a subscription-based lottery that allows you to continue to support good causes that matter. When you win, good causes win. Every month, eligible good causes have the opportunity to win a share of funds that could help them continue the good work that they do in our communities. To apply, there's no complicated forms, nor do you have to be a registered charity. Just grab your phone, send us a 60-second video explaining your good cause and the difference having extra funding would make to your project. Visit thecommunitylottery.com. Hit the play button and sign up for either 13 weekly draws or by direct debit for just £4.35 that gives you 4 weekly draws. You could have the chance of winning £25,000. The aim of the Community Lottery is to create an additional source of funding that will enable good causes to undertake innovative projects that matter. If you're in, the communities win.
You got me running, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Raise your hands up, raise them up.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the After Dark Show. My name is Yvonne Michelle and I'm your host for this evening, and we have got a very interesting show for you this evening. So I want to just start off by saying good evening and welcome, and also just to say that we are getting more and more letters in every week with people asking questions in regards to their relationships, and this is every type of relationship, whether it's relationship between man and woman, woman and man, and also families on things that are going on around. So do keep those letters coming. But before we go any further, I'm going to introduce our panel guest who is in the green room this evening. We're just going to slide into today's show. We've got a lot to get through today, so I don't want to waste any more time. So shall we start seeing who is in the green room this evening? Hello, Herbie and Michelle. How are you?
Hi.
And we have an extra guest. We have a granddaughter, Ramaya, as well. Hi, Kels. How are you doing?
You're right. Yeah, I'm good. Very, very well, thank you.
Hey, Tony. How are you?
Hi, good evening, all.
Hiya.
Hey, Karen. How you doing?
Hi, fine, thank
Hi,
you.
Karen.
Hello, hi, everyone.
Okay, it's okay.
Hey, Faye. How you
Hi,
doing?
evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, do we have any others in the green room? I know that there should be a couple more that are coming in, but we might do those till a bit later. Okay, so tonight's show is, the question is, what do you do if your husband or partner is constantly flirting with other people? Hi, Barbara.
Hey, Barbara's on.
Hi.
Did it, girl. You did it.
What a mission, guys. But hi, guys.
You made it work. You made it happen.
Just waiting on Theo. Theo will be along shortly. So the question is, guys, the question has been posed this evening. What would you do if your husband or partner constantly flirts with another woman or another member of another sex, what would you do? So I'm going to just leave you for a couple of minutes to just ponder on that question. And I'm going to say some good evenings to those people who are watching on Facebook. Sheena, good evening. Chesney, good evening. Wanda Anderson, good evening. Delroy Tulloch, good evening. Michelle, good evening. Tony, good evening. Marva Powell, good evening. As it's all coming up on the thread this evening. George Williams, good evening. How are you doing, sir? So, right, you've had a second or so. Right, so what would you do if your partner, husband, wife constantly flirted with a member of the opposite sex? Now, there is a letter. We do have a red letter this evening, and I'm calling it red letter because it's got urgency. Yeah, I think that we must be the last resort. Some people are calling, I'm messaging in, right? So we have a red letter today. So what would you do? The question is, what would you do if your husband, your partner, was constantly flirting with the opposite sex? Guys, I'm just going to throw it out to you, and then I'm going to read the letter, and then we're going to go right into it. So I just want to kind of get a view of what you feel, how you feel about the subject of flirting. So, Kellyanne, you look like you're ready to go. You look like you're ready to say something. I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see this from which point of view. Is it if, hi Thea, if my partner was constantly flirting with another man, or see it from the perspective? Okay.
Yeah.
I would be worried. From the perspective of a woman flirting with men, it's that's something very, very wrong with the marriage or with the relationship, because women are very loyal like that. They do tend to stick to their man, their traditional, the traditional woman, I'd say, so to speak. They're a bit different makeup now, but women hold dear very different to men. If a woman starts flirting with other men, there's something very, very wrong in the relationship. Very wrong. Yeah. So from that point of view, the other way around, well, I'm not saying that it's okay, but men do have their moments. Yeah, I know, Yvonne. I know. It doesn't make it right or wrong. I'm just saying. I'm not I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's justified. That I'm saying, you know what I mean? I ain't saying that, We can, you know me, I always like the conversation of polygamy and polygamy. I always like that conversation. So, you know what I mean? I'm gonna, kind of go on that surface. But from a point of view of a woman, flirting, that's not a good sign.
Okay, thank you for that, Kellyanne. You saw me sit back. I got my glass. I was like, it's going to be a long night. Here we go. All right, so who wants to come into that? Because we're just going to go around and find out what you think. Come in, Barbara. And then Faye.
So, flirting for me, I think if you're in a relationship, and this is just from my perspective, I don't see why you would want to or need to feel that need to be flirting with anyone else. Because for me, if I'm in a relationship, I'm in the relationship with you because I want to be with you, and you are the person I want to be flirting with and all that stuff. So I don't get it, but that's just because I'm coming from how I carry myself when I'm in a relationship. But I don't think it's not something that I agree with. I think that you shouldn't be flirting with, either the man or the woman. If you're in a relationship, all eyes should be on each other, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with appreciating a good looking person, because I just want to quickly give you a very quick example. When I was in a relationship, we have commented on the opposite sex, but just made comments, but not in a flirtatious way. Just I would say, that girl is a nice looking girl, because I'm a woman who doesn't mind complimenting other women. So it's everything that was done. It was always done that kind of way. It wasn't a case of, I'm looking at this man or he's looking at this woman. I think if you're in a relationship, flirting is a no-no, because it means your attention is elsewhere and it's not focus on that person that you're with. But that's just me.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much. No flirting. Okay. Right, so Faye, Tony, did you want to come in after? Because I noticed you put a message, flirting with one man or many. However you want to interpret it, it's fine. Right? Just so I'll kind of give you that. So we're going to bring in Faye. Do you want to come in after Tony? All right, so Faye, then Tony.
For me, I don't think there's anything wrong with flirting. Personally, flirting is something that's a natural, something that happens naturally. And I think for me personally, I know that I'm quite a natural flirt, and I think sometimes there's an awareness and there's an unawareness. So if the person is actively going out there to flirt, then that's different to somebody who just naturally is a flirt and will flirt with anybody in the room. So for me, I don't see anything wrong with flirting. I think if the person who has a problem with that, then they need to talk to their partner about that if they're uncomfortable with that level of flirting. I also think that depending on how long that relationship's been going on, they would have always known that that person's a flirt, particularly if they're a natural flirt. So they would have always known that that person's like that. So this is not a new thing. Maybe they've closed their eyes to it in the past, and now it's happening where it's something that they don't like now, whereas it's always been happening. So for me, flirting is a grey area for me, because I'm a natural flirt and I will flirt in pretty much lots of situations, which is not necessarily because I want to be with the person. It's just because, I'm just a natural touchy-feely kind of tactile kind of person. So for me, if I'm touching somebody, it's not because I'm interested in that person. It's just because I'm a naturally tactile person, and that's part of flirting as well.
Okay, thank you, Faye. Thank you for your honesty and transparency. Thank you so much. So over to Tony.
Good evening, all. Okay, so I kind of follow on from Faye. I believe that you can be quite flirtatious just by nature, and it really depends on how people read what your nature is. If I'm a nice, smiley person all the time, some people say they call me Mr. Smile, and I'm smiling up in your face. I'm not flirting. I'm just that way by nature. If I'm conversational and I introduce myself and I present myself in a nice way and I talk to you in a nice manner, am I flirting or am I just being, personable? This comes down to levels. So the question is, are you flirting with one person? Are you flirting with just people in general? So I haven't had an answer to that question as yet to say, is the person who's thinking, well, there's one particular person that stands out from the rest, which I have a problem with, I have an issue with? Or is it, well, every time he sees a woman, he's giving her an eye, or he's giving her a wink, or he's looking over his shoulder? What is it? There's levels to this, yeah? And the levels are, again, am I just doing a friendly hello? Am I always making sure I introduce myself and, or, am I, did it get to the point where there's physical contact? So lots of things to be answered. I can't answer the question without knowing all the real facts.
Well, the question is, what would you do if your partner constantly flirted with other men? That's the question. What would you do if your partner?
So is it one man or just consistently other men?
Just it says with other men. So that assumes that it's more than one. The question itself, but we're going to go deeper into that. So we will explore what you're saying a little bit more. But the question in hand is, what would you do if your partner constantly flirted with other men?
Yeah. So I think this is down to individuals. Some people are extremely delicate when it comes to their man or their woman, and them having other men in their viewpoint. So they're looking over the shoulder all the time. Who's he looking at? Who's he communicating? you know, they've got some women there or some men there that will be looking at their partner's social media, who's liking all their pictures, who's passing comment on what, where, and how. Why is this person doing this, that, and the other on your social media? That is excessive.
Yeah, but what would you do?
Me personally,
Yeah, you personally.
it comes down to levels. There's a level of interaction that I expect because I'm a social person. So I don't expect someone to berate me if I'm warm and welcoming to other people. I wouldn't be the opposite to the person I'm with. But if that relationship becomes too close, too much touchy feely, then yeah, I'm gonna have a word.
Okay, all right, cool. Thank you for that. I'm gonna go to Karen.
Hello.
Hi, darling.
I'm kind of on the same road as Faye and Tony, funny enough. It depends on, like I would like to know first what is flirting, because I've been accused of it a couple times, and to me, if you're intentionally flirting, it kind of has a more of a sexual connotation. 9 times out of 10, I'm not interested. I like banter. I like teasing. I like, twisting language a bit. Being a bit on the edge. But taking it any further than that, then it would be a no-no. In fact, if it is someone that I actually actively do like, I probably will be the least flirt with them and be a lot more guarded. So it just depends. My partner flirting, if he's going to be like doing it blatantly in front of my face, and it depends on the reaction of the person he's flirting with as well. If they start to take it and start to cross certain lines and then he can't like rein it in, then I'm going to have an issue. But I'm not a naturally jealous person. And I guess some of that comes with the fact that, I get accused of flirting quite a lot.
Yvonne, can we please define the word flirting on this After Dark show? Because
yeah, I will.
Very clear. It's after 10 o'clock, by the way. It's called the After Dark show. So can we define the word flirting here, please? I think it might be a good idea.
You're on mute, Yvonne.
I'm trying to be conscious and keep the sound down. Right, so yes, we can. So it is the After Dark show. So we can look at the meanings of words. So to be a flirt is to behave as though you are sexually attracted to someone, but playfully rather than very serious intention. That is the meaning of it. But it actually comes, flirting actually comes from how butterflies behave on flowers as they go from one flower to another. They pitch and then they fly on and they flutter. So that's where it comes from. So it is, I mean, there are different ways of showing how one is flirting by, just tapping someone's hand, or there can be innuendos. I think Karen mentioned banter. Banter is and has been also used. Someone says, is banter flirting? Banter and flirting have a lot in common. They are both light and fun and playful, but not all banter is flirting. So yeah. That's to make that. So touching seems to be the sexual innuendos, the joking, the winking, the kind of, playful way. That is what flirting is. Peacocking can be seen as flirting. Always wanting to be there, being seen, being in that person's space, that can be seen as flirting also. We have some comments. Daryl Thomas says it all depends on if they are insecure in their relationship with their partners. Somebody said that Tony never answered the question. Daryl also says jealous men always think that their other half is flirting. If they are amicable with other people, it can be and is contaminate, and this can contaminate a relationship. So I'm looking at multiple screens here. So at the end of the day, no touching. We're not run them kind of jot there. That's what Andrea says. Hello, my darling. How are you? Good to see you back here on the After Dark show. Right, Chesney saying it's an interesting topic. It is an interesting topic because we've had a letter. But before we even get into that, I'm going to go to Theo, and then I'm going to go over to Michelle and Herbie to get their take. So what would you do if your partner was constantly flirting with other men, Theo?
It just depends on how they're flirting. If it's a bit of jokes and laughing and giggle, I'm not a jealous person, so it wouldn't really bother me. I'm a flirt anyway, so it wouldn't really bother me. It just depends. If it's the same person and it's a constant thing, then there's obviously something a bit more going on, or there's some sort of interest. But if it's like you're out and they're socializing and they're laughing and giggling and stuff like that, you know, it's not a problem to me. I don't see it as a problem. As I say, but if it's the same person every time you're going out there, you know, the banter's a bit more touching than maybe normal, or extra long hugs and stuff like that, then you kind of say, there's something a bit more going on here. Then, yeah. But on the regular thing, nah, not really. As you said, like a butterfly, social butterflies is just socializing, isn't it?
Okay, thank you, Theo. Right, so the DJ Super Me, my friend. Hello, sir. How you do? We still not see you on the show yet, but never mind. We will get you on here by hook or by crook, you know. Anyway, he says most women use flirting to get jobs done, stroking the male ego. Well, my brother, I think you are telling the truth. Yes, you are. Absolutely. Spot on there. So, Michelle and Herbie, I'm going to come over to you before we go into the rest of the show. The married couple, come on now.
Herbie's a flirt.
Okay. Listen, we're just talking about it and saying it's sort of different levels, you know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to deny that I'm not a flirt, but it's normally more like a plaything, you know what I mean? And a bit of banter. It's nothing serious. I don't know, just me, you know what I mean? I just get in some mood sometime where I just feel like I go out and just some kind of entertainment, you know what I mean? But yeah. But on a serious side, though, I mean, you know, I get a lot of men try to flirt around my wife, around Michelle sometime. I have to watch them because some men have no respect. You know what I mean? They'll try and flirt with your wife in front of your face. So I normally kind of like just give Michelle the eye. But Michelle knows. A lot of time Michelle knows, because sometimes Michelle look at me, I look at them, and it's like, say, we know what it's about. You know what I mean? I haven't really. I don't think I've had to confront any man. Yeah. I've had a few times. A few times I've talked to a man in his ears and whisper to him and remind him. You know what I mean? That's my wife. So just easy. Because sometimes some men come up and touch up Michelle and all that. And so I'm like, what you doing? So sometimes I go to her and say, listen, hey, easy. She's not single lady. She's married to me. I don't mind you talking to her or whatever, but just keep your distance. Because some people just like, I don't know, they just bare face, and they just want to flirt with the woman. But yeah, they just try it. But yeah, I'm a what would I say? I'm a low level flirter. Yeah, I'm on a low level. Yeah.
I think Michelle will say something different, Herbie. I get accused of it all the time, Herbie. So I'm in your boat, brother. I'm in your boat.
Yeah, it's no harm. Like Karen was saying, you know what I mean? It's normally just, it's nothing really. It's not going nowhere. It's just.
And it's not with strangers. It's generally like it's people who we know. Yeah. You know, it's not with strangers.
Yeah, it wouldn't be with strangers, because I don't know how the strangers would take it. Because obviously they might thinking, boy, this man's really onto me. You know what I mean? So normally it's with people I know, and you know what I mean, and you know, so they just know that it's just a little bit of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it, Michelle.
I don't know. Do I flirt? I think I'm over friendly.
Michelle, yeah, I think
I
Michelle.
think I'm just friendly.
Yeah.
I say hi to a lot of people, especially people that I know. I'm just what you see with me is what you get, and that's in my professional life as well. I'm just friendly, so
And
I wouldn't call that flirting.
And I've said to Michelle, sometimes men might see like, look, men might read into that look differently. Some men, you know what I mean? So I have to kind of gauge it a little bit, you know. But yeah.
But we're used to it. We're used to each other, so it doesn't bother me if I see Herbie talking to his friend or laughing and they're joking. It doesn't bother me because I know that's how Herbie is, and I know what we've got.
Because some guys who come and say to me, "Hey, there's a man over there on your wife." I said, don't worry about it, man. I said, Michelle can deal with herself. She can handle herself.
And if I can't, I'll come to her.
Yeah, if you can't, if there's been times with Michelle going like, this man's bothering me, and I said, okay, all right, let me go and talk to him. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments. Andrew Maxwell say, flirting is flirting. What does it do for you if you are not going anywhere?
Good question.
Good question.
It's just flirting. It depends. It just depends, isn't it? Depends on what kind of level of flirting. If it's all sexual innuendos, touching and giggling, and then that can be seen as going somewhere different. That's more than that's going beyond flirting. Now you're inciting that there might be something going on, or there's a possibility or something like that.
That's the person I'm talking about, basically. I mean, I like to compliment women. Is that me flirting?
No, that's a compliment, isn't it?
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like
it's a compliment.
What is the fine line?
Compliment. I think.
No, but if you're okay, I'll give you an example. If you say to the woman now, "You look sexy in that dress," and I could imagine what, then that's going to be. If saying the dress looks nice in you, that's different. You look sexy in that dress, or your breast is this. That's more sexualized, and that's a compliment.
Top. I see you saying.
But some guys would do that and think that they're giving her a compliment.
That's not a compliment.
Okay. That's not a compliment.
No,
that's not a compliment. No, that's not.
But some guys would take that and say, "I'm just giving you a compliment. You look fit in that dress."
Yeah. I guess it's tone. It's just the use of words. I can actually honestly say that I've not flirted like that with married women or women that have partners. I just, it's a disrespect. I've always been conscious of that.
Most of the time, you don't know. You don't even know
I like
what the relationship status
women.
of the other person is. You just take a gamble. I mean, listen, I could tell you how I would flirt with a woman if I didn't know if she's married or not. I might say, the man who's got you is a lucky man. I'm flirting with you, but I don't know if you got a man or not, but I'm being respectful.
I get that line. I get that line all the time.
So we've got two comments here. We've got a comment from Natural Mystic and one from Delroy. So Delroy says, women flirt, but they do it sneakily behind their partner's back, but most guys do it openly. That's Delroy's. And then Natural Mystic has said, I wouldn't want a married, attractive man to flirt with me when his wife could dig up me eye them. Right, so we've got two ends of the spectrum here. Right. So Naturalistic is saying, if he's married and attractive, what if he's married and he's a butu? Did I say that? What if he's married and he's not attractive to you? What then? Would you still not want him to flirt with you in case his wife dig out your eye? And Daryl is saying women flirt, but they do it sneakily behind their partners, and most guys are open about it. I think that I think what Delroy meant is some women. I don't think he's putting all women into that. Delroy, you can let me know if I've got that wrong. But I would like to think that you're saying that some women flirt, not all women.
It wouldn't be all. No, I would doubt that. I think he just says it as generally, because there are exceptions, aren't there? There's always exceptions.
Yeah, of course. We always have exceptions.
Some natural flirts, they just can't help it.
Yeah.
And some people are social butterflies. And
I would probably say the number of flirters, strong flirters, is less than the number of non-flirters. You don't get many people who are super flirtatious. Flirtatious people are the exception. You know, we're the outliers. We're the ones who, I would say, if you go in a club, yeah, you go in a club and there's 1,000 people in the nightclub. How many of those 1,000 people are bold enough to go and embolden themselves to the person of an opposite sex just off the cuff?
988, depends on who you are, the culture, the country. I don't think
Yeah.
the West Indies that we could say there ain't a lot of flirters around. I think there's enough.
There's lots.
It's a thing, it's a culture, the banter, it's the lyrics.
In Jamaica, there's-
Banter is
I
one
think-
thing. Flirtation is a different thing. We're talking about actually wanting that sexual energy to be crossing.
Well, that's why I don't know if I totally agree with that. I don't agree that flirting is necessarily sexual. No, flirtation is not necessarily sexual. That's what
I don't think so.
we need
either.
to define what flirting is, because to me, it's not necessarily sexual.
Well,
I-
by Yvonne's definition,
It can be, but
said the word
it can.
sexual in there.
It
I
says
think I would.
the meaning says you behave as though you're
As though,
someone,
but
So the word is in there.
rather than with serious intentions. That is the meaning of flirting.
Right.
That's
in
the
that case, I'm not flirty then. I'm not flirty at all.
No, you're just a peacock, but you know, it can be seen as a
I don't want you
flirt.
calling me peacock, Tony. Not
You're a
you.
peacock, Karen. You know you are.
Not-
You even
Not
told me that.
you.
3 words come to mind about flirting, but I have to go back to Natural Mystic said something that made me laugh. She said, I'm only approached by attractive men. Bless that. Bless like that. Not always the brightest crayon in the box. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Always approached by attractive men. Bless them. Yes. Parita says the art to selling is flirting.
Pum, pum, pum. Yep, absolutely right.
Absolutely.
That's it. Nevada says some of us flirt if we're still attractive. Wow. Really? Okay, brother. CT says brightest crayon in the box. Ha ha ha. Right. So, okay. So, we are heading somewhere. Andrew Maxwell says when you are nice and smile, then take it as an invitation to. They take it as an invitation to pass their place. Some of them do. Yes, they do. But the reason why I asked this question is because I received a letter. I received a letter that I'm going to read to you. And I call this the red letter. This is a red letter Tuesday, guys. So we're not going to do this every week, but probably every other week, because the letters are coming in fast. And I think, well, there is a need. So, dear Yvonne Michelle, I have been with my man for 30 years. And we are relatively happy in our relationship. We get on well most of the time. The only issue is my partner is a terrible flirt. It drives me insane. This has always been a little challenge for me, and I thought it would change with us all being on lockdown, not being able to socialize with other people, but it hasn't. It's got worse. If he gets a chance to talk to my friends, in one of my girlfriends, it's like he can't help himself. Right. So if we put ourselves on mute, because I'm getting a lot of feedback. For those of you who are not on mute, can you put yourselves on mute? Okay, lovely. Right. So, okay. I'll go back a little bit. If he gets a chance to talk to my friends while I'm on a call, and in particular, one of my friends, it's like he can't help himself. If I'm on a video call, he jumps in and takes over the conversation, adding all kinds of innuendos throughout. It's like he's lost interest in me. He doesn't pay me much mind until I'm on a call with other females. Then he shows more interest. I have spoken to my friend to ask her not to encourage him. She told me that I need to control my man and have more respect for myself. So we have fallen out. That has helped. It has helped the situation, but now I don't know if he's calling her independently. I need your help. I love my man and I don't want my relationship to end, but I don't know how much more of this flirting I can take. Thank you for your help, Anonymous. So there is the letter from this young lady. No, we don't know what age, but she's been in a relationship for 13 years and starts off by saying we are relatively happy in the relationship. Most of the time they get on. The only issue is that her partner is a terrible flirt and the flirting is driving her insane. But then she does go on to say a little bit more. She says she finds it a challenge. He jumps on her calls when she's talking to her friends, and there is one friend in particular that he likes to talk to, and so she's had a conversation with that friend to ask her friend not to encourage him, or what did she say? I've spoken to my friend and asked her not to encourage him. Yeah, and that friend told her that she needs to have more respect for herself and she needs to go and sort out her man. So now she's feeling a little bit insecure because she doesn't know if her man is now speaking to her friend, the one that she's fallen out with, independently. She needs our help because she loves her man and she doesn't want the relationship to end. So, panel, your thoughts?
Yvonne, I can't remember if you said, has she spoken to him about it? I can't remember if you said that in the letter.
She doesn't say. She doesn't say that she's spoken to him or she hasn't spoken to him. Her friend told her she needs to go and deal with her man. But
well, her friend's right. Her friend's right. That's the first port of call to speak to the guy because he's one that's doing the flirting. It's not the friend, isn't it? So if she hasn't spoken to her man, well, that would because he might not even be aware that he does it. He mostly is aware, but he might not be aware. He might not be aware, and it might be a reason why he does it. I don't know. So if she hasn't spoken to him, then that would be the first port of call to do. Sit down and speak to him and say, look, every time this young lady comes on, you're all over the thing. Am I talking to my friends? You're doing this. Even maybe record him doing it when he's doing it, so he can actually see or hear what she's saying. That might be a help.
Okay, thanks for that, Theo. Tony, I see your hand up. Come in, sir.
Yeah, just wanted to follow up on that really, because I think this boils down to a long-term relationship where you have very close friends between you. And in that group of close friends, you could have quite sort of good intentions, but quite hazardous relationships. You know, look, imagine if you got a friend like Karen and she's always having a bit of banter with you. You know, it could lead all over the place.
Hold on, no. It ain't leading nowhere. Yeah, I would chat to the cows come home. It ain't gonna go nowhere.
You know, 13 years, and you're very close with Karen. She's your best friend's. She's your friend's best friend. You know you can just have a laugh with Karen. She's fun. She's a joke. You know,
Yeah.
if you start talking a little bit, if you talk a little bit of smack, Karen's gonna, you know, come back at you.
Knock it back. Yeah.
She's not gonna fringe. You know, she's gonna come back at you. So you get
More worried
like
about
that.
the man I'm not talking to.
Yeah,
the word about the man I don't talk to.
Look, I mean, you know, look, we've all got a friend of an opposite sex who you just know you can have banter with. You can, you know, talk about sexual matters left, right, and center.
The birds and the bees.
You know, you that friend might be single, and you're trying to just have fun with their position, and you say, "You got a boyfriend yet? What's keeping you? Lovely girl like you. Come on, get yourself out. I think you want to get that dress a little bit further down. You know, come on." And you're kind of just suggesting a way for her to become more attractive to the opposite sex, but you're actually flirting.
Okay.
You see, but you've got a relationship which is built on banter over a long period of time, which this sounds like that is.
She said she jumps on. She said he doesn't pay her any mind until she's on the video chat, and then he takes over the video chat, and especially with one of the females.
There's
The
intent.
conversation's a bit. There's more to it than you know. If it's all of them, then fine, and if it's a bit of laugh and giggle, that's different. But obviously, there's a bit more intent going on. For her to write a letter to say there's something going on, there must be something. But she needs to talk to a man anyway.
Okay. We've got some comments. I'm going to bring Herbie, and Herbie's got his hand up. But we do have some comments on the thread. Patrick Solomon says Tony's on it tonight. Tony, Delroy Tonic is saying, I find that insecure people have problems with flirting. There was a comment from Michelle. What, can we get that comment that Michelle had said? She said, Lord, the man them no good. The friend no good. Disrespect all round. Relatively happy, question mark. Most of the time, question mark. Nah, mate. That's what Michelle says. Joanna Beach says, real talk. Kelly on is saying exactly. I'm just reading some of the thread, guys. Just reading. Parita Shah says, Tony Cox is always on it. Is that right, Tony Cox? You're always on it? And you're living up to your name. Anyway, I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
I missed all of that. I didn't even know what happened.
You need to know. Blackatan says, it's the line you cross. Everybody knows what them are doing. Everybody knows. It's you. Blackatan, thank you for being here. So, guys, okay. So Theo mentioned right. She did say, when she's on a video call, her man jumps on and takes over the call. Yes, fair. Yeah, he takes over the call, but he flirts with one of the friends more than the rest. Faye, come in.
There is definitely intent. He's disrespecting her, as far as I'm concerned, because she obviously can see that there's no attention being paid to her. She's seeing these things play out, and she's been seeing it being played out for a long time. So I'm not quite sure what she's not understanding about what her man's doing. He's dressing it up like he's flirting because he probably is a flirt and probably is a natural flirt, but there is more intent when you're interrupting your partner's phone call to be on the phone call. It's almost like that's his opportunity then to talk to this particular girlfriend because he wants to talk to her. There's a definite intent there, I think, and she needs to address him first and foremost with that, and let her feelings be known about what she thinks that is going on, and is there something going on? I mean, be quite forceful with what you're asking him. Is there something going on? Because I would think, if that was me, I would think there's something more going on.
Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for your honesty and transparency. Do you think that he has, from what she said, that her husband, her partner, does have an ulterior motive with the friend? Hold on. Mr. Technician, go back, please. Please put Michelle's, because I haven't heard this saying in a long time. He's a dirty bungle. I ain't heard that in years.
Tell me about it. Memories, boy.
I haven't heard them kind of thing there for years. I used to say that all the time. He's a dirty bungle. The friend is a dirty bungle. The writer needs to grow in confidence. She needs to tell him it's unacceptable. And if he does not stop, she needs to act. Boom. He's a dirty bungle, you know. She's a dirty bungle. How long ago? Those are like 80s, yeah. That's 80s lyrics, yeah. Right. Andrew Maxwell says, I don't agree about insecure people having a problem with flirting. I personally think people use that statement to justify their slackness. You don't have to be insecure because you are not enjoying. You don't have to be insecure because you're not. Remote user, flirting in itself, there is nothing wrong with it. It's just about how far it is pushed. And that is Tony Cox. That's what he's saying. Nevada saying.
Nah, that's not me. That's somebody remote. So if I put remote.
I see. Somebody
I'm
else.
Reading what someone sent me.
Okay, cool. I'm with you. Nevada saying he's definitely insecure about the relationship. So Nevada, are you saying that he's insecure, the one who's doing the flirting? Can you come back and tell us what you think? Because that's a really strange way of looking at it. But I wanna kind of unpick that a little bit more. Barbara, you got your hand up? Come in.
Yeah, just in regards to what everyone's saying, really, and going back to just kind of the definition of flirting for me, which is this: there's no innocence in this flirting here. There's literally no innocence. It's not like a little banter, friendly thing. He knows exactly what he's doing. My thing is, for her, you said that this has been going on for a while, basically, and now it's driving her mad. So it's something that she knows that he does, and then thinking that it's going to change in lockdown. Come on, love, let's keep it real. He's not going to change, and you're aware of what he was like before. So I don't understand how you would expect him to change. It's, you know, when you go into a relationship anyway, if you find them like that, you can't change them into something you want to be at a later stage. And if you've been with him for 13 years, he's probably been like that for those 13 years. So it's either you're going to accept it or you're going to say, do you know what? I actually really can't take it. And then you're going to end the relationship, because I suppose you just have, it's a case of where do you want things to go, really? You're saying you love this person, you want to be with them. But one, definitely you need to speak to this man and make him know how crazy it's sending you. Lay it out there, be completely open and honest. But then again, you still have to question, okay, I've accepted it before. Did I seriously expect him to change? But yeah, that's how I look at it anyway. But she needs to talk to him, and he's out of order. I won't be having that. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, Herbie's there, and then I'm going to bring in one of the comments from our YouTubers. Okay, Herbie, over to you.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm looking at the friend, because the friend knows what's going on. Yeah. She's not saying nothing much apart from talk to you, man. That just tells me that she's sort of saying, like, listen, it's not me. You know what I mean? Your man is coming on to me and I'm just going along with it, which I think really she should have she's got a part to play there. I think she has to kind of, you know what I mean, come up and say, yes, is this, that, and she can put a stop to it. If the husband, boyfriend, whoever is flirting, she can react in a way that would kind of, like, you know what I mean, let him know that you got your wife there and everything else, you know what I mean, what you're doing. But she looked like she's just on it. And so she's got a part to play, but the main responsibility is the man that she's got, and he needs to be taught to and told to cool down. But I won't let that friend get away with it, to tell the truth. She don't sound like much of a good friend to be there entertaining my husband. Well, not my husband, but as in terms of like who was husband or partner.
Is she misreading the situation? Listen, don't forget, we're in lockdown, and a lot of relationships are getting tried to the max right now because we're all so close to each other for so long. So I'm just putting it in there. Is she misreading the situation?
Good point, Tony. Good point. Anyone want to come in from that? Empress.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Hold on 1 minute. Empress Music, she is probably noticing it more because of the lockdown. She should speak to the man. Come in, Kels.
Well, if you realise, one of the points you said that sometimes, somebody said it in the thread, the relationship was going quite okay. Sometimes we're happy. Yeah, that sounds like a bit of a neglect or a bit of a dissatisfaction. That sounds like there's a bit of a lack somewhere for her to feel that way. Or maybe she's the insecure one. But there's definitely a problem here. So I mean, I think this can go in quite various directions, but there is a lack somewhere, definitely.
Okay, so you're saying that there's a lack. Brian Bailey's saying the flirt outside the relationship is what I refer to feeling powerful. I don't quite get that. Maybe someone can explain that. No, she. Okay. The flirt. Yeah. Right. Okay. So Natural Mystic says no, she ain't. This has been going on for time. Right. That's what Natural Mystic is saying. Right.
I think Brian Bailey means that the person's outside the relationship has some sort of power, of the power of getting between a couple. I think that's what he means.
Right.
It's a bit of power and be able to divide the two of them. Could be. Who knows? Some people are just oblivious of how they're behaving, but in this particular case, I think since it's been going on for a long time and it's so uncomfortable for her, she should just talk to her man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why it's extended to this point.
Okay, well, I think
he's not taking her into regard at all.
Yeah, I think that if we assume, because we don't know, if we assume, and unless the person, so Brian is saying, yeah, that's right, Karen. I think we've got a tick. That yes, I think what you hit the nail on the head. I think that if we assume that she's spoken to her partner, and I'm assuming that she's listening and on tonight, so we can only go by the facts that we have here, and the things that have been written, which I can, because even though she hasn't said a lot of stuff, there is a lot of stuff that is actually hidden in what she's written. You can it's exposing itself, because she does start off by saying that they are relatively happy in the relationship and get on most of the time. She said the only issue, which I'm assuming is her only issue, is that her partner is a terrible flirt. Then she says, it drives me insane. Right? So, for me, I'm a linguist, so I'm looking at the language here. The language tells me a lot about what's going on here and the things that she hasn't said. She also says, this has always been a challenge, a little challenge for me, and I thought it would change with us all being in lockdown, not being able to socialize, but it hasn't. It's got worse. So how could that get worse? We're in the yard on top of each other every day. So unless she's talking to her girlfriends frequently on Zoom or whatever the streaming platform is, he's there and he's jumping on. So, she's not getting the space that she needs to speak to her friends because he's jumping. I mean, it's just all written there. It's black and white, yeah? If he gets a chance to talk to my friends, and then she's putting in brackets, in particular, one of my girlfriends, close bracket. It's like he can't help himself. You're hearing that? If I'm on a video call, he jumps in and takes over the conversation, adding all kinds of innuendos throughout. It's like he's lost interest in me, she goes on to say. He doesn't pay me much mind until I'm on a call with other females. Then he shows more interest. She doesn't say whether she's spoken to him. She says she's spoken to her friend. So I want to go to the friend scenario. But Tony, before we go to the friend scenario, I'm going to bring Tony in. Yes, Tony.
Yeah, because there's a big point that just jumps out there. She feels he's more interested in the friend, but he's in the house. So let's work this one out. If your man is more interested in the woman on the other end of the phone, you've got some work to do. Are you providing for this man? We've had this conversation a few times, going way back. Is the woman providing enough for the man to retain his attention? Because believe it or not, if you're spicing up the bedroom, if you're keeping things sweet, bringing in the variety of entertainment, and obviously he has to do the same thing, but it has to be mutual, then he ain't going to be looking anywhere else. Sorry, if my woman continually reinvents the wheel and makes my life good and doesn't get complacent, then I'm not looking anywhere else. I've been with you 13 years. Now that's that point. That's why you get that 7-year itch. Yeah, 13 years is a long time. Well done. Congratulations. 3 years longer than a lot of people get. But are you the lady talking to your partner and saying, what can we do this weekend, babes? Should we, have a little razzle dazzle around the back of the garden? Can we do something here in this other room in the house? Can I bring some toys in the equation? Because, I got a friend who's got an After Dark show and she showed us some nice toys. Can I bring a nice nightie? All these things. You can't extinguish these things. If you're doing all that, he should have nowhere to go.
Theo, come in.
A lot of relationships in the lockdown, a lot of relationships last because of the lack of time people spend together. So if they're in a relationship, you're at work, you spend 8, 9, 10 hours in work, traveling to and back from work. So you're only spending literally 3, maybe 4 hours a day with your partner. So your little things you have in common is, it's just fleeting. You're saying hi, bye, you're just, working. But when you're actually 24/7 with somebody, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different ballgame. 24/7, 7 days a week with somebody that you're only used to spending, I don't know, on the whole in a week, maybe 10 hours, 20, 15 hours. So now you're stuck together. You realize you don't really have much in common. And being not able to go anywhere to kind of stretch out the day, you're stuck in the house. It's magnified everything that your flaws in the relationship. So now you're not getting on sometimes. That means you're not getting on hardly any now because you're together all the time. Before you could have an argument in the morning and come home and forgotten about it and everything's all cool, or vice versa. But now you're at home, you argue in the morning, the arguments all day. So now they're stuck. And then this friend comes on. She's bubbly, fun. I'm gonna pick on Karen like Tony's been doing, so I might as well carry it on.
Leave Karen alone.
Bubbly and fun like Karen. Okay, let me start on Faye.
I'm gonna pick back. Yeah.
Let me start on Faye then. Let me trouble Faye because Faye's a flirt. So Faye comes on the Zoom chat and starts to smile and starts to kind of touch the screen and all that and giving it all with the earrings as she likes to do and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be talking to Faye because I've had enough of you for the whole day. I'm like, I've been with you for the whole day. I want to speak to somebody different. And Faye's smiling, always smiling. So maybe that's what's going on. So maybe just because you're in lockdown and I've been with you all day, I don't know if there's any children to kind of break up the day. So being stuck with somebody all day can sometimes get on your nerves, man. So I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
True. Very true.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I agree with that as well.
Faye, oh, sorry, I missed you, Faye. Say.
Yeah, no, I would agree exactly with what Theo said because she does say in the letter that it's increased since the lockdown. So that's a very poignant statement that she's made because obviously we're in the situation where we're not going out to see people. He's not. I have to question why he's just talking to her friends though. But this is the thing. Has he not got his own friends to be talking to? Why is he constantly talking to her friends? And
that would be worse. That would be worse.
No, but at the end of the day,
at least it's close to home, someone you know. Imagine it's someone you don't know. Them your backs really.
No, but I'm talking about his own friends. Where's his friends? Why is he not talking to his friends?
He can't have a girlfriend that the woman doesn't know. He can't. She has.
No,
she has
no,
to be
I'm not talking about our female
Male.
friends. Where are his friends? Well, it doesn't matter whether they're male or female.
Men don't really do Zoom chats like that. We don't
Yeah,
really do
man.
Zoom. Men don't really do Zoom chats like that to catch up.
No, I
We
know,
do, but we
I'm
keep
just
that to
saying
ourselves.
Yeah.
We
But
keep
that's
that to
fine.
ourselves. There's plenty of man chat. Don't worry. He's getting
Well,
plenty
clearly
of man
he's not
chat.
talking to other men. He's not. He's not
No.
It
Don't
doesn't
think
say
he
that
ain't
he
talking.
is. It doesn't say that
Don't
he's.
think he ain't talking to other men. He's talking to other men all the time. I have a phone, right? My phone blinks off
No,
every
Tony,
30
Tony,
seconds from
Tony.
another man.
Tony,
It doesn't
Tony,
say
Every
that,
30
though.
Tony,
seconds,
that's
I've got a
Tony.
message from a man.
Tony,
You're
but
just assuming.
Tony, we will talk mostly on the phone. We're not gonna really set up a Zoom chat and just talk. Like we're not gonna sit down like the females will sit down and have girly night. We're gonna have a girly chat for the next 5 hours.
We have
No, but that's an
organized.
organized talk, Tony. That's an organized talk.
Yeah.
That's not just me and you gonna say, oh, hit me up on Zoom tomorrow. We're not gonna do that.
I've
The
had
females
one
would do
today. I've had a fella rang me up today, and we had a Zoom chat, and we just chat. I have that every day, but it doesn't mean that
that's the point, Tony. That's the point I'm trying to make. Where is his man that he's supposed to be talking to? Where's his other people that he's talking? Because she doesn't actually say that he's talking to other people. She just says that he comes on the conversation when she's talking to her girlfriends.
Yeah, that's why he wants a little bit of something on. He's just playful. He just wants to get in on that little bit of action, But listen, it's the guys.
But he knows it's annoying her.
In this room,
You think he doesn't know that it's annoying her?
How many men message him in a day? I guarantee it's over 20 men will message him in a day.
Okay, but do you think that he doesn't know that it's annoying her? Do you think because
if she hasn't said anything, if she hasn't said anything, no.
She hasn't said anything. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. But I don't imagine. I don't imagine that she would not have hinted at him or said something of some kind of nature to him. I don't imagine that. Because if it's annoying her that much, if it's hurting her to the core that much, I don't think there would be at no time ever did she not say anything to him or not hinted at him or not made reference to something that.
But she doesn't say that in the letter.
And we have to assume. I don't know which assume we have to assume, but I'm just saying that as a female, and for the females that I know, and I can only go by my people that I know that if that was annoying one of my girlfriends, they would have definitely made a hint, or they definitely would have said something to the person to say this is not acceptable. I can't believe I personally, I mean, she would have to make that a bit clearer to me, but the girlfriends that I have, they would have definitely have said something or made some kind of notion that that's not acceptable.
Okay, so I've got two hands up. I've got Barbara and Herbie. I'm not sure who was first, but I'm gonna do ladies before gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring Barbara in, and then I'm gonna bring Herbie in to. I'm really enjoying this conversation. I'm just
so. What was I going to say? I was basically going to say to do with whether she's mentioned anything to him. Maybe she hasn't. Like we said, we can only assume. We can only go on the limited information that we've got. But I agree with Faye that you would more than likely have said, even if you've not outwardly said no, I like you doing this, there should be some kind of sign. Remember, they're saying they've been with each other for 13 years. I know when I was with my partner, we were together for nearly 15, but even before that, like you kind of know when there's something up, even if and at the particular time when he's actually doing it, she might just have like a certain face or just little things that would have shown him like there's something. Not necessarily that she might not come out and say it, like I said, but I don't believe that there's no way he has any kind of idea that this has got to her so much. There's got to be something, some kind of something that's either been said or shown in her body language, in her facial expression, something. And after 13 years, you're going to tell me that he ain't picks up on that. She's vexed. Come on now. Nah, I don't buy that. But you don't know. Limited information. So yeah, who knows?
Herbie, come in.
Right. The man is a flirt, yeah? She's saying that he's flirting for years. That's what he is. That's his nature. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now she assumed that when lockdown happened, things would change.
Mhm.
I don't know why she assumed it could change, because that's what he is. He just takes the opportunity. He's done it on now. He's on now social media, and he's doing the same thing. The only thing is now she can actually see him doing it, but he was doing this all the time. Yeah, nothing's changed, and he would had his preference and his certain friends that he would have sort of like talked to more than focus on and give him a little attention, and so nothing's really changed. So I'm not sure why she's sort of like thinking, well, the whole lockdown thing's gonna change. She just assumed lockdown would change. What she just see now is him doing what he's doing, but now she can actually, now I'm just sort of thinking, well, now something, you're here, yeah, and yeah, I'm doing what I'm doing, but you can see me doing it, and you can, and because you got time now, you can kind of realize that I'm on this. But he's been on that for a long time, you know what I mean? And if you was to talk to her friends would probably tell her that, yeah, that's what you like. But she knows that. She admit that. She knows that that's how he is. But she
But
needs to talk.
Harry, what I would say to you is, if you're doing that and Michelle's sitting next to you, and I'm sure even if Michelle doesn't say something to you, if she thinks something's getting out of hand, there's going to be some kind of look, some kind of something, some kind of wink, some kind of nudge, some kind of something that lets you know you've crossed the line. Okay?
Absolutely.
And that's because you know that when she does that, she's not happy. And you might not address it at that particular moment in time, but when that call's finished, you will address it at that particular time because of your relationship. But you cannot tell me that there won't be no sign that Michelle would give you that you've crossed the line somewhere along the line.
That's right.
They definitely would be. And
Got a twist him lip, you see.
I know Michelle, yeah. You'll be talking, and next minute the screen gone blank, everything's just gone. Everything is gone. You know what I mean? And you don't hear from me for a couple of weeks, and that's it. You know? You have me locked down and quarantined in a room, in the back room somewhere. Yeah.
This is good. This is good conversation, guys. I'm loving this conversation this evening because you guys are really thinking about helping this person by really looking into her language and really looking into what she's saying. Because at the end of the day, we know that she's been in a relationship for 13 years. So at some stage, we have to assume that she would have said that it bothers her. And she's been trying to live with this, overcome this for some time. But now, because it's in her face, and quite rightly, Herbie picked that up, that, we are in lockdown. So everything is heightened right about now. Everything is heightened. When you don't like somebody, it's heightened. You might... your partner, you might normally get on your nerves for 5 minutes of the day, but now it's like 11 hours and 55 minutes of the day is getting on your nerves. It's heightened. Do you get what I mean? You see things more because people are in your space. So there's been lots and lots of talk on the thread. Andrea is saying whether she's handling her business doesn't mean he should disrespect her. Sorry. I do agree, as women, we need to make sure our men are taken care of at home. Please keep in mind you have some greedy men. Natural Mystic is saying, does he have the same type of social circle? She should do the same, strut about in lingerie when he's on a call. How about that? Yeah. I quite like that, actually. Yeah, that's why I said, how about that? Yeah. What else have we got on the thread? Brian Bailey says, some people, I believe, don't say anything due to pride. Joanna Scarlett saying, but why is she just focusing on her man so much and not her friend? We're going to look at the friend. We're going to look at the friend in a moment. Yes,
she spoke to the friend. She spoke to the friend.
She did speak to the friend. She did.
She spoke to the friend. And the friend told her to go and deal with her man, which is what she should be doing. The friend was right. Deal with your man. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Your man's flirting with me. So deal with your man.
Yes.
Simple.
Simple things. So was the friend wrong for saying
No.
that? And the reason why I'm asking this is, could the friend have handled this differently? Could the friend have been more understanding to her friend and her plight? Because, you know, it's her man, he's flirting. Should the friend have been more open to say, all right, I'm not gonna take him on when he's flirting with me. I'm just gonna ignore him. Or was she correct in telling her, listen, brethren, you need to go and talk to your man, yeah, sort him out. Don't come and be asking me to stop encouraging him, because she might not even feel that she is encouraging him. Maybe, I don't know. But
well, she's allowing him to come into the chat. She's having the chat, and she's allowing him to take over the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not stopping him at all. Like, not today. You can't come on the talk. She's allowing him to come and talk. So then now you want to talk to the friend and say stop flirting with the man, but you're allowing your man to come and talk to me. We're in lockdown. It's not like we're in a dance or something where you can isolate. We're in lockdown. You got control over the Zoom. As Herbie said, Michelle would just lock down the thing and tell him that would be it. End the conversation.
Yep. Unplug the
So
Wi-Fi.
she's got the power to do that. Instead of her sitting there all nicely in the background and complaining, oh, he's chatting to my friend, shut down the chat. I think you will get the message then that you've crossed the line. If you're just going to sit there and watch it and then not say anything, he thinks it's okay.
Tony Cox says the friend enjoys it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she? A man's chatting her up. Why wouldn't she?
That's right.
In front of his wife. In front of his wife.
And she's a lockdown. You know what I mean?
She's on lockdown, so yeah. Most people think after dark. I've got one of them pump things that Karen likes, and them that.
I can't say I like it because I didn't receive it.
Okay, let me look for it. What's it called again?
Let
me go find it. It's
called a pussy pump. Yes.
Yeah, that one there.
You lot. Listen, we've got a remote comment. How is it in modern society people are so quick to seek external advice rather than communicate directly with the person concerned? Which is a great comment.
Yeah, brilliant point.
I would like to think that she's actually had this conversation with her partner, and I think that most women would have said something to the point of where the man is saying that she's nagging. I think that most women would have said. I'm just being honest, because I think if she's been in a relationship for 13 years and he has always been a flirt, as she says on the letter, there must have been other occasions where she has mentioned this. And now that we are in lockdown, now that everything is heightened and she can see it, and she's in her house and they're on the video chat, and her partner is just peacocking all the time. Every time the woman's on the thing, but when she's at home with him, he's not paying her no mind. I think that woman would have said something. Otherwise, she just go and live her life, swell up, push up, and not say. And I just don't think that a woman would do that. I think before they get to the swell up, push up, please, they would have to say something. That's just me.
I agree, Yvonne. Totally agree with that.
So I would like to assume that she has said something, you know, and she's tried, because she said, I've tried to, you know, but now this thing is in her face. Now this, every time she's on, the man's chatting to her friend, and it's driving her nuts. Because her friend could be well and sexy too. Make her feel even worse.
Lock down the Zoom chat.
Anyway.
Lock down the Zoom chat. As Herbie said, Michelle would lock down the Zoom chat and he'll be in the back room in the dark and we don't see him for 2 weeks. Lock down the Zoom chat. Simple.
Up in that corner.
It just seems
it's simple. Lock down the Zoom chat. You don't like it, lock it down.
I don't get the dilemma. I don't get it.
My wife would have locked it down a long time ago. You'd have seen my ears ringing and all that stuff. So lock it down. Mouth of that, yeah, lock it down.
Nevada said that. Can we go back to Nevada, please? Nevada said they made their situation now public. How could they go further with their relationship? Well, Nevada, it's anonymous for one. Two, I don't know if he watches the show. She certainly does. So it's anonymous. We don't know who we're talking about. So really, it shouldn't have any impact on their relationship, but it should have an impact on her because she wants an answer. She wants to know what to do, you know. And for me, this woman needs to empower herself. But I will say my comments at the end of the show because, you know, we're exploring this. You know, Theo has said, luck it off, luck off. That would have lucked down, that anyway. But we're not all the same. What is good for one may not be good for another.
If that's what,
okay, go Karen. And then
sorry, if that's what he would do in front of her with no regard for her feelings, what does he do when he's not with her and he's out with the boys or whatever and she's not around? To me, it just seems like it would be worse. So, you know, this is something very quite deep-seated, really. You can't tell your man to stop. You're not unplugging the thing. It's like he's a bit out of control, really. And I don't think it should be just on the women to, you know, do 50 Shades of Grey. Because guess what? There's only 50. By the time you get to 51, you're done. Don't bother anymore. It's not on her. So, you know, there's only so much us women can do. And if he's going to disrespect her, it doesn't mean that he's being neglected. He's just greedy.
Hang on, Karen. 50 Shades of Grey has got 2 movies. So that's 100 Shades
It's
of Grey.
25 in one. Nah, it's 25 in one. I will tell you, I watched the film. There's only about 3 Shades of Grey per film.
I never watched them. I don't know.
Because it's not all of that.
Because they're going to come up with another one, and another one, and another one, and people are going to buy
We ain't get to 50 yet.
That's how it works.
I thought it was proper 50 things in a film.
No. There's 3 books. There's 3 books in the series. So is it 3 or 4? But there's 3 books in the series.
3 books is 150 shades.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's not that. It's not all
3
that.
books.
It's
The
not all
first
that.
one was the first one died after chapter 20. I couldn't even read it anymore. It was boring.
Yeah, it's boring for us.
There are
Listen,
3.
50 Shades of Grey, the thing that excites me most is the cars and the money and the holidays, not the whips and the chains. That was
The book
boring.
is Tony. The book is dead.
You know what? As we digress a little bit off the subject in terms of 50 Shades of Grey, the one thing that I do like about 50 Shades of Grey is the fact, is the contract. I like that. I like the idea. Because then we both know where we stand.
Yeah,
And
you
it's
know what's
very
going on.
plain, and it's
Absolutely.
out there. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is how we play. I like
Yeah.
that.
That was 5 lines in the book. That's it.
No, that was I'm just saying that, you know, that would be quite interesting to have a contract. And actually, I think that the next relationships that I'm in, there will be a contract anyway. Let's move on.
Sounds like somebody needs to do a new book.
I've got a book of my own, Tony.
Aye. Sit there. Sit there.
She just said it was a dry film. It was dry. Honestly.
I tell you, not be dry. Anyway, let's move on.
Hey.
From here. Let's go on. Let's get back on track, people. Yes, let's get track. We don't want to digress down that road this evening.
Next week, yeah, we can't go down that road.
Okay, so we know that this is a situation that she's in, but was going back to the friend, could her friend have handled this differently? Do you think, to make her, if she could have handled it differently, why should she have done that? Anybody want to come in?
The friend's not too interested in her feelings either, I don't think, anyway.
Yeah.
The friend is a dirty bungle.
Because, like, you know, if I, you know, as someone who can be flirt, I think if my friend was to come and say, you know what, I don't like it, but for whatever reason, even if I don't agree, I would still, like, you know, be very mindful of the situation. So I don't think the friend, I do think that the friend is right in a way, saying, you know what, take up the most of it with your man, but the friend can still take some accountability, you know. And even if the man's coming at her, the friend can still say, look, just stop, I'm done, there's no need to carry it on, it's hurting somebody I care about. So yeah, the friend's should take a little bit of responsibility. The onus isn't on the friend, the onus is on your man. But I still think the friend can just, you know, watch herself. What's Yvonne doing?
I agree with that, Karen. I was going to say, Karen.
My device is running low.
I was just going to say, I agree, because I was thinking exactly the same thing that Karen she just said. In as much as, yes, it is down to the man because he's the one who's in the relationship with the woman, but I feel that the lady, the friend, she could have shut it down as well, because I mean, I know there are some guys that don't kind of, they see things as a challenge and they will continue, but this is from my experience, if you make it clear to a man that it's not on, he will stop. So I think she maybe could have shut it down as well, but it is mainly down to the man because he is the one who is in the relationship. So yeah.
Okay, keep talking. I've got a few technical issues going on here. Just keep talking. Theo, take over for me, please. 1 minute.
So let me read out a comment that one of my friends has put in. It came up a bit early. It says sometimes women want men to read them and understand them rather than just communicate their concerns in plain English.
I'd be surprised if she hasn't. I just think he's just disrespectful.
Yeah, I really think she has communicated that to him. I can't believe that.
I don't think she should have to say she's upset.
Yeah.
There's nothing to make anything about it. One of them grey area business.
Yeah, if you're with your woman for that length of time, you're gonna know her isms. And I'm sorry, she's just gonna give you that face, or she's gonna give you that look, like we do with children, and we expect that children should know our tone when we look at them and we say to them, you know, or we don't even say, we just give them that look. You would have that same look with your partner. You would know your partner's isms. So you would know when she's upset, you would know when she's happy, you would know all of those things. So if she give you a sideways glance, you're gonna know that that's inappropriate. And sometimes non-verbal communication is often the most powerfulest communication. You should know that.
Maybe, but she said he's been like this from the start. So she's condoned it from day one.
That's not how she got him. That's why she's so scared and insecure.
So she's allowed it from day one. And because, as I said, because we're in lockdown now, it's in her face, you know, every day or whatever, whenever she's talking, it's getting on her nerves. So even if she's spoken to him before, to him it's just like, yeah, she's just complaining about nothing.
Yeah,
it's just the same old, as Yvonne said, he's just nagging. She's just here she goes again. It's nothing. We're just having a bit of banter. There's a bit of jokes. I'm not flirting with her. I'm not gonna sleep with her. I'm not gonna see her because we're in lockdown anyway. So how far is it really gonna go?
Yeah. But then going back to your point, then Theo, if she's upset about that, she needs to shut it down.
She needs to shut it down. If it's getting on her nerves, she needs to
getting on her nerves. She needs to shut down the conversation, and that's it. Talk to the girl another day.
Okay, let me put it to you, Faye. If you were, Faye, let me ask you a question. If you were talking and that was your man sitting there, you're on a Zoom chatting to the After Dark family, the girls, them chatting, and your man comes in and he's flirting with Barbara. What are you going to do? Sit there and go, oh, I don't like this. You're going to just say, you're going to push him off and say, it's get out of conversation, isn't it?
Exactly.
What are you doing in this?
I would have empowered to do so.
Come out of the conversation.
She might not be empowered to do so, and that's the thing. She may not be empowered to do so, but she may not say something, but she might give that. She might give an indication that she's upset.
But Faye, if you've been with someone for 13 years, that look is what you get all the time. Is that she's a bit peed off? Yeah, I'll deal with that later. I'll give her a hug and a kiss later, and move on. We've been together for so long. She's giving me that look. Oh, you might even run joke with the girl and say, oh, she's giving me that look.
True.
Yeah, you know, it becomes the look just becomes a look. It's like you're doing it to a teenage child, the same look you gave at 5. It doesn't have the same effect. Like go and sit on the stairs and like, It's like, yeah, mum, I'm 15, I'm 6'4" now. What are you gonna say? Really? That look doesn't work. So 13 years of the same look don't mean anything.
Yeah,
So I'd like to just interject there, because there is something about communication. There was something that Brian Bailey, regardless of how long they've been with each other, non-verbal is sometimes the worst form of communication. Just so that you know, verbal communication only takes up 7% of our communication as human beings anyway. It is the least in communication. You know, you have 55% is your perception is through vision. That's how people perceive more. It's
Body
actually
language.
through what you see more than
It's a body language, isn't it?
Body language, absolutely. So in saying what Faye is saying, I'm just saying I have to back Faye up with the facts, because that's fact. That is fact. You know, 7% is words. That's the least of our communication, but our body language tells us more. And you know, sometimes listen to me. Let me tell you something about me. If I'm vexed, I don't need to say a word. You will know. You will feel it, and you will see it. You will. I don't have to say that. So that she must have. Listen, unless she's the best actress in the world.
But Yvonne, 13 years. We're in lockdown, so he's talking to somebody in lockdown. I'm not going to go and meet this woman. He could be saying whatever he wants to say. He's not going to go meet this woman because it's not possible.
Isn't it?
So 13 years, Yvonne, 13 years of the same look, the effect wears off. You just have to be miserable then. The effect, the look, the stern look and the eyes, you have to talk. Sit down and talk and express your feelings. As Tony said, express your feelings. Men like to be taught plain and simple. Tell us what you've done wrong. I don't like what you just said to so-and-so. I don't like it. This is getting on my nerves. Every time she comes on, you doing this, you're flirting with her, you're ignoring me, whatever. Say it. Don't just expect him to know it because you've crossed your arms and rolled your eyes.
If you don't say it,
you got to speak it. Men need it to be said plain and simple. We need to
I
be
understand
told
what you're saying.
plain and
I
simple.
understand what you're saying, Theo, but I still think that he understands that she's not happy about it.
Yeah, she's not happy, but how deep is this unhappiness? Is it just not unhappy today? Is it because I've been doing this for 13 years? So what? It's not like it just happened yesterday. I've been doing it for 13 years.
He knows it's not 100% kosher. He knows that.
In his head, he's just having a banter. In his head, he might be just thinking, I'm just bantering with her. He doesn't know how deep it runs with you. If you're not saying anything, he doesn't know how deep it is. You have to tell me. You can't expect me to know, oh, she's really upset. It's down there. I'm a man. Tell me, I don't like this girl. I don't like you talking to her. And I don't like the way your conversation is. Then he now has a point to say, okay, there's something, she doesn't like this. But if you're just expecting me to know you don't like it, then yeah, you're not hiding to nothing there. He's just going to carry on.
Well,
and
he has carried on. He says it drives her insane. What does an insane person do? That's what
a myriad of things, to be honest.
Yeah, a host of things. She says it drives me insane! Exclamation mark. Let me just.
Yeah, but what's she doing about it then? She hasn't said it to him.
She's writing letters.
She's
writing letters, but she ain't saying anything to him. I've seen women insane, and I've seen women insane. Trust me, I've seen them mash up yards when they're insane, when they're mad, throw down things, laptop get mashed up.
Yeah, she says all of that.
She hasn't. It sounds like she's just sitting in the sideline, and he's eggs up into the conversation. He's eggs up into her conversation, and she sat there and allowed him.
You know something, yeah? It's like she rocking bad enough to read the term. Sorry.
I need your help. I love my man and don't want my relationship to end, but I don't know how much more of this flirting that I can take. So she is saying that she's at her wit's end. This is why I called it a red letter. I think that this has been going on for some time. She's saying, I need your help. I love my man, and she doesn't want the relationship to end. She wants to try and save the relationship. Hence why she has decided to send us this letter. So we want to be able to deliver. We've got half an hour left of the show, but we want to be able to deliver some kind of solution for her so that she can move forward in her relationship. Barbara, I can see your hand up.
So for me, I'm just looking at, okay, we want to try and give her a little bit of direction, right? And I know it's easy for us to kind of say how we would do things. Like, obviously we have to take into consideration that she might not be like any one of us, not able to just go and speak or whatever. But my advice, for one, you have to, if you've got to this point now where you're desperate and you're calling out to us for help, it has got to, you're basically saying, I'm at breaking point now. So as uncomfortable as it's going to be for you, as difficult as it's going to be for you, you need to lay it all out and tell this man just exactly how much this is affecting you. Like, just be completely blatant and just say, this is breaking me. Like, this is really, really hurting me. Look him straight in his eyes and make him see. Because I think even just having that deep conversation, because they have been together for so long, surely if she sat him down and really looked in his face and said, look, babes, this is, you know, jokes aside, and even admitted, yes, I've allowed this before, and yes, it's been going on, but I've got to the point now where I literally can't take you flirting anymore. For me, that's what she has to do. She just has to really let him recognize how deep it's got and that she can't take it, and she's literally at breaking point. Because if she doesn't make that apparent to him, like, yes, I said as well, you know, you do show certain signs when you're upset, and your partner over a certain time, they will know. But I also agree with what Theo's saying, that you need to open up your mouth and just say now, because you're at breaking point, you're saying now, and you don't want to lose him. You're saying you don't want to lose him. So what are you going to do? Now it's action time. You've got to do something, and you've got to start off with laying it all on the line and just saying, listen, I'm breaking. I'm really hurt. Like, this has gone beyond, you know, just little banter, little flirting. It's hurting me to see you doing these things.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much. Anyone else want to jump in? Herbie, was your hand up?
Yes. Yeah, I agree with what Theo's saying, Barbara's saying. She's I would say she kind of broke him bad, you know what I mean? She's let him get away with it, and she just, it's probably hard for her, because sometimes, you know, relationships, you know what I mean, you just think this is part and parcel of it. But, you know, you come to a point now where I think it's gone too far now. She's going to have to talk to him. And if she can't, then she probably have to use the same Zoom with someone who can help her, some sort of relationship counseling. Because, because it's been going on so long now, he's probably thinking, this is how I've been like this for 13 years. He may not see the problem. This is what I do. You know what I mean? I've always talking, always flirting, always do that. You know what I mean? And he might turn around and say, look, why is there a problem now? You know what I mean? You know, it's not been a problem how many years, and you know how to operate. Why is it a problem now? You know?
Also, I think the crux of the matter is that she's probably thinking this is coming to an end. This relationship is coming to an end. We've had the conversations. This has just gone too far. And she could be quite fearful. But putting a disclaimer out there is that the decision lies with her at the end of the day. These are suggestions. These are things that we might do, or, you know, the way that we see the situation. But we're not walking in her shoes. And at the end of the day, she needs to do what she feels is right for her. If she wants to stay, she stays. If she doesn't, she doesn't. She wants to talk to him, she does. If she doesn't, she doesn't. You know, these are just us giving suggestions to support her and sort of, I suppose, in a way, empower her as well. So I'm going to put this little girl in. Listen, come on.
Just to add to that, I think she first needs to take responsibility. I think that's what Thea has been putting forward really as well. She needs to, from day one, 13 years ago, take on what she took on this man 13 years ago, and he most probably was that way from the start. He's this way right now. So she's got to take on the responsibility. She's got to communicate, and a lot of times communication is a breakdown of any relationship, in actual fact, especially when it comes to Chinese whispers. You know, if something's not quite right. We tend to either put it under the pillow or don't say anything, and it's just a very little thing. Or sometimes it is big, and we're just not talking, and it might be even not as big as it really is. Maybe he does need counsel. Maybe he needs help. Maybe he doesn't realize what he's doing or whatever, you know. And maybe it's a thing where, as they do now begin to talk, that actually might be a new start. It might be a new beginning. So it means I'm hoping she's watching this, that, you know, something new could come out of this. It may not be all bad. You know, as long as you talk, something will come out of it, and it will be the start of something. And thankfully, you'll be in a better place than you are right now.
Lovely. Thank you for that, Kellyanne. Thank you. Anyone? Tony, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I was going to kind of say something similar, actually, because I think it's one of them situations where, you know, look, this is one of them that we've seen this play out so many times. The flirting turns into a full-fledged relationship, and then the woman finds out, and then she has to make a decision. Do I kick his bags out the front door, or do we have a conversation? Yeah, I've put 13 years of my life into this man. Do I kick the damn door down and send him on his way packing? Or do I ever say, like, okay, you know what? You did what you did. Time to have a reset. Yeah? So this is what she has to say. I could reset here. This is a point in time where I can actually start this relationship afresh, do my 50 Shades of Grey, yeah? Make it all nice and, you know, fresh and new, and then go ahead. Or I'm going to turn the key and lock the door and let you out.
Simple as that, right?
Simple.
Right, all right. Anybody else want to put their 2 pence worth in? That's a good question, actually, that Natural Mystic just posed. Is flirting cheating?
We talked about this at the start of the call, didn't we? It's different levels.
But could it be seen as cheating?
No.
At a certain level, it can be, but normally and generally, I would say no.
Okay.
I don't think she's seeing it as cheating. I don't think the writer is seeing it as cheating. I think she's just annoyed at the level at which the flirting is happening at, and maybe the frequency. But maybe
if someone's
go on, Tony.
If someone's cheating on you, you don't write a letter to us saying, "I think my partner's flirting." You say, "My partner's cheating."
Cheating. Yeah.
I just think that flirting can lead to cheating. It can.
Exactly. Yeah.
It certainly can, but I don't think in this instance she actually thinks there's cheating going on. I just think she's just annoyed at the behaviour, and she wants that to stop. She needs to look within herself, I think, and you need to kind of empower yourself to either deal with the conversation that you need to have, because there definitely needs to be a conversation with this particular person, and also explore how you have difficult conversations with him in general. Because it might be a thing that she has conversations with him, and he dismisses her on a lot of things. So we don't know if that's a thing as well. So you have to look at the relationship in its entirety to just understand whether he does this or not, whether she's had a conversation with him before and he's just dismissed it, or they have conversations in general and he dismisses things. He could be dismissing things in general. So you have to then look at your relationship as a whole and say, is this person the person I need to be with?
But Brian said, very, very, very quickly, Tony, Brian said a very key word here, emotional teaching. Hold on, very quickly. I'm not sure you saw that. Emotional teaching, which, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, go on, carry on.
Brian Bailey's been picking up some and throwing out some real good concepts, actually. So I want to thank Brian this evening for your input, sir. Because there
Big up Brian from the 100 Black Men of London.
I mean, are you one of the 100 black men? Are you? Nice to see
he
you.
Is indeed.
Nice to see you show your face here. Lovely. You're very welcome, young man. Very, very welcome.
Come on,
But
come
yeah, I
on
was going to
down.
say, you know, look,
Price is
another
right.
option that hasn't been put forward that a lot of people do is they go, let's try trial separation.
Does that work?
Yeah, and go where in lockdown though, Tony? They might not be able to do that.
Separate.
Of course they can.
Where they're
Of
going.
course you can.
You know what I mean? They may not be able to. They may not be able to do that. They may not be in a position to do that. But I think she seriously has to look at the relationship as a whole and to decide whether, you know, and really be honest with herself and say, is this relationship as a whole working out? Because there might be other aspects of the relationship that are not working out too. We don't know. You know, we don't know. But I think one leads on to another, leads on to another, leads on to another sometimes. And you need to be honest with that conversation to yourself first before you explore it. But definitely there has to be a conversation, a very frank conversation. And if he's not accepting of that, then you need to decide. You need to decide where you go from there.
Someone sent me a text saying, maybe the reason the man is talking to her, not that he fancies her, but he has more in common with the friend. He can relate more to her. Maybe that's why he's talking to her, and the friend might be jealous because he's not communicating with her the same way.
But again, it goes back to whether you are compatible with this person. So you need to look at that as a whole. Are you compatible with this person?
As I said it before.
Is this person falling out of love with you? Because he could actually be falling out of love with you, and you don't even know. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's much more. It's a much deeper level, I think.
As I said before, because of the timing, when you're not spending as much time with somebody, you can, you know, everything seems nice. But when you're spending a lot more, it highlights your deficiencies and what you don't have. And maybe this friend has a lot more in common with this man. We don't know. So he gets on with her more. They can laugh and joke. The other one's a bit more, I don't know, uptight. I don't know. I don't really know them. So
it might not even be that deep. It could just be a little. It could be just like suppose the common interest is music. They both like the same type of music.
They're talking about music,
and they get on and they talk about music. It doesn't then mean that, you know, he's necessarily more interested overall in the friend. It could just be that aspect for that moment, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's so many different things that could be happening here, really.
There's so many different scenarios, but do remember she did say in the text, she says, if I'm on a video call, he jumps in and takes over the conversation, adding all kinds of innuendos.
Forgetting those bits. She could just nip that in the bud right there and then. What did you say?
You know, something. He sounds like he's bored.
What do you mean by that?
Even something to do, you know. Find something to do. Don't go to some paint, some back room or something. You know what I mean? He's like he's bored.
There's only certain type of women that men can try that foolishness with. Honestly, you double entendre in front of my face. So what do you mean by that?
Can we go back to the Clyde message? There was a
Clyde one's good, isn't it?
Right, Clyde Pyle says, sounds like she has no self-esteem as she put up with it for 13 years with this notion that she thinks she loves him and she doesn't want to lose him. This is emotional abuse. Her best action is to get him out of her life. I would guess that he has cheated on her in the past. Thank you for your comment, Clyde. Thank you so much.
Massive assumption.
Yeah, still not necessary. Still not necessary.
It is. Michelle says, Theo, the writer, is nothing to be worried about if they're discussing what that?
Pythagoras theorem.
My classes can't manage that word. Sorry. So
I gather you won't be doing that kind of flirting in Yvonne. You can't even say the word, so.
You can't say
Ooh. It's square plus square is equal to square.
Yvonne, on the real, once again, guys, she needs to take responsibility for taking on this relationship in the first place. But she has to. I mean, it's a bit of pointing fingers here. You know, the start of it seems as though she didn't do her homework.
What are you talking about, Kels? They've been together 13 years.
Yeah,
What
but
does that
what I'm
tell you?
saying,
I've been with a man for 13 years, means things have been good. Yeah. What happens in relationships is you start off in one decade, yeah, 1980s, 1990s, and you finish in another decade or another millennia, 2000 and something. People change. 13 years of being with the same person is a long ass time. I can
no, it
tell you for
sounds
that.
as though he was like this from the beginning.
So he wasn't like this at the beginning. He could have been the perfect man for 12 years. He's just turned and he's suddenly gone 12 years in. You know what? Hands down, I'm done with this. I'm ready to start looking outside the nest.
Okay.
We're making assumptions.
No, she said she said he's been like this all the time. She said he's always been a flirt.
Yeah, but how long is a long time?
Yeah,
No,
but
she said he's always been a flirt. She said it from the
13
start.
years, you know a man. 13 years, you know a man.
What did she say, Yvonne?
She said,
said
let me read the letter one more time because we're coming down to the end of the show. I have been with my man, not my man. She has been with her man for 13 years and we are relatively happy in our relationship. We get on most of the time. The only issue is my partner is a terrible flirt. It drives me insane. This has always been a little challenge for me, and I thought that it would change with us, all being that we are in lockdown and not able to socialize, but it hasn't. It's got worse. If he gets a chance to talk to my friends, in particular, in particular, one of my girlfriends, it's like he can't help himself. If I'm on a video call, he jumps in and takes over the conversation, adding all kinds of innuendos throughout. It's like he's lost interest in me. He doesn't pay me much mind until I'm on a call with other females. Then he shows me interest. I have spoken to my friend, and we can only assume that it is the female friend that she mentioned, to ask her not to encourage him. She told me that I need to control my man and have more respect for myself. So we fell out. That has helped the situation, but now I don't know if he's calling her independently. So there's some trust issues here. I need your help. I love my man. I don't want my relationship to end, but I don't know how much more of his flirting I can take.
I think the operative word here is always. He's always been that way. That's what I heard. Tony.
No, she didn't. She didn't say that.
I heard the word always. It's there. The word always is there.
That's what I gathered from it as well.
13 years, guys.
She said this has always been a challenge for her, and I thought it would change with us all being in lockdown, but not being able to socialize, but it hasn't. It's got worse.
So she's expecting a change now. So we're talking about a 10-month situation. We ain't talking about 13 years. Yeah? We're talking about a 10-month situation. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So get it clear. It ain't 13 years of, I've hated this guy for 13 years. No, the relationship is fine. I don't mind you flirting. But actually, hang on a second. Last 10 months, since we're in lockdown, things have changed. And I can't take it.
Yeah,
it's just got Tony. It's just got worse.
It's got worse. It's got worse. It's been happening. The flirting's been happening from time.
Never liked
it.
She's never liked it.
It's not working there, Tony. Always is a very strong
word. She's never liked it. She said it's always been a challenge for her.
It's been a challenge for her, but now it's
it's always been a challenge.
It's got worse.
That's a period of time.
Well, no, I just think that she you know, she don't sound like she having too much of a bad relationship, to be honest.
That's right.
Because she said that, you know, they're mostly happy. She's mostly happy. And she said this is a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, she better just start unplugging pulling out plugs and stuff and nipping it in the bud. But really and truly, she's not in too much of a bad relationship otherwise.
In saying that, though, I mean, I get what you're saying, because I just, in the grand scheme of relationships and what could go wrong and what she could be experiencing, yes, it's not a very big thing. But again, going back to what Yvonne was saying about the language that she's using in the letter, for something to drive you insane, that for me is saying it is a big problem. Do you get what I mean? So it's kind of like, you know, you have to.
Driving insane is relative. You know, it's relative. Some people have very low tolerance, and some people have very big tolerances. So,
but
you know,
it might. I feel that it must be big enough. I mean, it's clearly big enough to come to this forum. It has to be big.
She's just a drama queen. To be honest with you, your man's doing that in front of you, and you got time to write a letter about it, and it's upsetting you this much. Really?
But again,
and your relationship is pretty much good otherwise.
No, I get that, but I'm looking at it from another point, because I personally, if from the time he starts doing that and I don't like it, trust me, you're gonna know, and I will tell you what are you doing. But she's clearly not that person, and if she hasn't done that, then maybe that's just not, she's not able to. I don't know. Maybe she can't communicate that, or she hasn't. We don't know, because again, we're kind of assuming and speculating on what exactly has gone on, what the conversations have been. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel that even though we might not see it as something massive, maybe to her it's just really intensified now, as again with the lockdown as well. So for her, it is now a big thing. Now it is.
She needs to make one of those good old pros and cons lists, right? Because from the sounds of it, yes, this is annoying, very annoying. It's driving me crazy. But she's not in that much of a bad relationship otherwise. She needs to write a pros and cons list and start weighing up, you know, what is most important to her. And if this is really important to her, she needs to just have a chat with a man, because she's not saying that things communication-wise are awful. There's so many other things that happen in life that are so much more weighty than this. And if she's not complaining about those, then I would, again, assume that those things are okay. So this is something that you need to just deal with.
And listen, you've got a good man, 13 years, and he hasn't cheated, and he just flirts.
What do you know?
We don't know if he's not cheated or not.
He doesn't know.
You have knowledge. Tony, you're making
Tony.
We don't know that
you're now speculating. You're now making assumptions.
But she has said that it's a good relationship, though. Otherwise, you know.
Let me finish.
So that's
as far as she is aware, he hasn't cheated. She's worried about him flirting. So you know where that goes. She feels that the flirting can go somewhere else. Yeah. So as far if she thought he was cheating, the letter would not have said, "I'm worried my husband is flirting." It would have said he's cheating. So as far as she is aware, he's flirting to the point that it could turn into cheating. There is now a trust issue. And as we've been saying through this call all along, she now has a conversation to have with him to say, this either stops now and we go out and we carry on this relationship, or we call it quits. And you go and flirt and play and do what you want outside of my door. Or we have a break and then we come back. Or whatever it is the solution is. But right now is the time for them to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, we're coming up to the end of the show, you know. It's been very interesting. Very, very interesting to actually get your, let me come back on camera, to get your view on this. It's very, very interesting indeed. And I do hope that the person who wrote the letters got something from this show. What I would like to say is this, is that first of all, and I agree with Kelly on it, no matter where you find yourself in your relationship, you must first take responsibility for you and what you're putting, what you're bringing, what you're doing in your relationship. It is not about the other person, but it is about you. Everything starts with you, right? First. Once you ascertain that, then you have to start looking at what are the things that are unacceptable in the relationship. They've been together for 13 years. So they've put some skin in. Both of them have put time, effort, energy, love, sweat, tears, everything into this relationship. So I wouldn't be quick to say to her to walk away from it. I wouldn't be quick to say that at all. But what I would say is that, like Tony has said, they've been in this lockdown for 10 months out of their 13-year relationship. So you have to kind of weigh up the pros and the cons from that. Karen also said making a list, making that list of, you know, what works for you and what doesn't. But ultimately, out of everything, is that the two people need to communicate and speak to each other. But not only speak to each other, they have to action an outcome that they want. Because we can talk and talk and talk and talk, and nothing ever gets done, and it just leaves you in a sense of frustration. So if two people are coming together and they want their relationship to work, they've got to set some goals. They've got to set some markers of what they want to achieve, and then they have to put the action in that to make that happen. Don't make no sense. You say you're pissing me off with your behavior, and you're on my Zoom every time my girlfriend's coming and tear, and you're going off, but there's no solution to it. There's no action. What are my expectations? What do I want you to do? How do I want you to behave? So I'm saying to the young lady, set some boundaries, set some things that you want to see this man do. And likewise, you know, I don't know. Some of you guys are like saying, oh, you know, she might not be doing this and she might not be doing that. He might be bored at home. He might be. But if he's bored, then he needs to talk to his woman too. And he needs to tell her that, listen, I need more attention. Maybe she's not giving him attention at home. Maybe she is. We don't know. But we won't know until the two of them have that conversation, for him to say, you know what, babe? You're on your Zoom with your girlfriends 24/7. You ain't got no time for me. What if that's the case? It could be. And she might say, you know what? I give you all my time. And as soon as I'm on and I want a little time for myself, you're there jumping in my space. You're flirting with my friends, one of my friends in particular. So that is the ultimate disrespect. Because let me just tell you something, lady, if you're listening, woman to woman, I'm saying to you that no man should be disrespecting you with your friends ever. Full stop. Respect is respect, and respect is the minimum. That's all I'm saying. It's the minimum that should be required from the person that you are with. We've got Michelle and Herbie that have been together for 37, 6, 5, 10 years. What a leap. And one of the things that because I know this couple, one of the things that I can say about them is they respect each other. That's the one thing I can say. But also, let me tell you this. I know Michelle and Herbie, and I would never flirt with Herbie. Never. Because I respect Michelle. That's sad for you. I'm just saying. And it's the same. Theo, I won't flirt. Me and Theo are friends. I talk to Theo on a regular. I don't flirt with Theo because I respect his wife. So if you are a friend, and ladies hear me, let me just talk to the ladies, yeah? Whether you're flirting or not, you hold that shit down. I'm sorry. If you have a friend and she has a husband, respect your friend and don't flirt with him. I don't care if you get on with him. It's not your place to flirt with him. Have respect for your friend. Don't make her feel like she's like, oh, but this is my friend. And no. If she's your friend, she should be your friend. And she should respect. Respect is the minimum. End of. And vice versa. So men, I'm just saying, you see all these beautiful, handsome men. When you see me with my boo, don't start flirting with me because I'll cut you down. I will cut you because it's not your place to flirt. Just respect the person in their role, and it cuts out all of this stuff. That's my personal opinion. We have come to the end of the show. Young lady, I hope that this has helped you. But one last thing I'm going to say to you is work on your own self-esteem. Because you know what? If you don't respect yourself, no man will respect you. And so work on you. And once you finish work on you, then speak to your man, tell him what you don't like, tell him what you like, be loving, hope your relationship works. And if he can't respect you, cuck up your backside and make him see your batia roll as your walk off. That's it, done and dusted. End of. Because you are worth something. You are worthy, you are special, and you do not deserve that. Set some boundaries and let us know. Let us know. I'm really, really, really appreciate the fact that you trust us. Us, you know, to give you some inspiration, give you some advice. And I hope that you will let us know how you get on in your relationship. But for now, we have come to the end of the show. We'll be back here next week between the hours of 12 for the After Dark show. But for now, guys, say bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Ciao.
You ready? You got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it.